Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of the Boys Podcast
The
with
boys.
my co-host Peter Lucas from Niner Fanatic Podcast and the one and only Beto himself from Niner Sickness Podcast. How we doing, fellas?
Doing good.
I'm
It's
great.
It's good. It's good. All right, let's hop right into it, guys. The free agency has officially started. There's been a lot of moves made within the past 2 days. Niners got two additional guys on the defensive side. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Beto, Niners picked up. Hold on. I always forget his damn name, so give me a second.
We got Jordan Elliott.
Jordan Elliott.
That
Yeah.
was
Who's the
today.
other one?
Matos,
Yeah, you're
and Leonard Floyd.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Gross
let's
Matos.
go over each one, guys. What's your guys' thoughts? How do you feel about the pickups? Let's go with Pete first. Pete, what are your thoughts on these three pickups that we got?
I mean, I think that they're not sexy, but I think that they were necessary, if that makes sense. I think that the 49ers are doing what the 49ers always do, which is they bring in some guys that Gross Matos, they bring in. He's your typical Cleveland Farrell and Menahu guy that they bring in and see what Chris Kacerek can make out of him. The Leonard Floyd is really kind of just is a pass rusher, is like probably who they were hoping Chase Young was going to be last season. And he's had 9 to 10 sacks the last 4 years every season. And I hear a lot of people saying that, he doesn't win. He doesn't get the sacks by pass rush wins or whatever. Who cares? Who cares how he gets them? He's getting the sacks.
As long as he gets them, correct.
Yeah, like who cares? And and then the last guy is, we're reportedly losing Eric Armstead. So I mean, they needed somebody to plug the middle. And while Jordan Elliott may not be the greatest at rushing the passer, like I think he averaged like 2 sacks for all of his seasons, but he has really good grades against the run, which is really what they needed. They needed somebody to plug the middle. So yeah, I think that they're doing pretty solid so far. I think that it's going to be. I think that people forget that we have Chris Kacerek, and that he's going to make those guys better than what they were. He's done it every single season, and people didn't see it so much last year because we were using different schemes. But I think that this year we're going to have a resurgence back to the way that we're used to seeing this defense. And yeah, like we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with Pete. I think people need to kind of just calm a little bit down. I understand that we had, last year this time, when free agency started, or at least the whole thing on Monday started. Last year, we went in and signed a big name like Javon Hargrave, and the Niners get accustomed to certain things, right? They get accustomed to signing these big names, and if the Niners don't sign a Danielle Hunter, the Niners are not doing right. They're like, what is going on? And they chase these big names. I'm not saying Danielle Hunter is not a good pass rusher, but people don't realize that don't know Leonard Floyd is a very good pass rusher coming out of college, going into the Chicago Bears, and then what he did with the Rams under Chris Kacerek, he's going to be able to use him. We haven't had a 10 sack pass rusher next to Bosa since D Ford. Okay, we brought in Chase Young. Hopefully, he was the guy. 2.5 sacks in 9 games wasn't cutting it. These other guys, Farrell, as good as Clinton Farrell was, they were not challenging, if you will, Bosa. I believe that Floyd will challenge Bosa on the opposite side. Now, the D tackle we picked up, like you said, Pete, he's not your pass rusher, but neither was Armstead. He commanded the middle. He plugged up the hole, and he was great against the run. This
Mhm.
kid that we picked up was 6th against the run last season. 6th. That's an area that we were getting gashed in the regular season, in the playoffs, with running backs. We took care of that. Models is more of a rotational player, kind of in and out, but they picked up a pure pass rusher and a run stopper. They're not the biggest names, and people like they want the Danielle Hunters, they want the trade for Brian Burns. Did you know what they paid for Brian Burns?
Yeah.
You're not going to get that. You're not. People need to stop living in fantasy land or Madden. Okay, they want to sign Brock. Brock is going to be at least in the neighborhood of $50 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think he's not? Trust me, he plays better, which every quarterback in the third year really take that big leap jump. And we saw what Brock Purdy did with no offseason. Give him an offseason, he's going to jump, he's going to demand his money. The thing is, the Niners need to fill in the holes, but they cannot go beyond a certain amount of money. All those big names, yes, they sound nice. Yes, you want to bring him in. Yes, that'll be great against Bosa, but it's not Madden. You got to realize, okay, what is it going to cost us and how much is it going to cost us in the long run? People that are mad that we're letting Armstead go. And they're not mad that we're letting him go. They're mad that we can't use that money before June 1st. The Niners are thinking about, what are we going to use to sign Brock? So they're thinking ahead. People are so much into right now. I want to see what we're doing right now. They don't think like fans. They think of their business. They think about the moment and the future. Fans, let's keep it 100. We think about just the moment. How good could we be this season? The Niners are trying to be good this season and for seasons to come. So I like the signings. They're not big flashy, but they're within budget, and they meet the whole. I mean, Floyd's a good pass rusher. He's not just like someone that's going to come be in rotation. He's a starter for this defense.
Yes.
So I'm happy with him. And then real quick, Fred Warner restructuring, man. I just want to give congratulations to him being a father for the first time, had his baby. Congratulations to you and your wife and your new born baby. He's going to be playing with more excitement in 2024.
Yes, sir.
That's Fred.
Well, so we also saw that what we saw that as well, that there's like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack speculations as well. To me personally, I think that's too much money for us to be able to pick them up. What are your guys' thoughts on seeing that all over Twitter lately? Beto, you go first, and then we'll go Pete.
I think they are keeping their eye on Khalil Mack, not as much as Joey Bosa.
Okay.
I think the guy that they want is Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa, listen, the Bosas have not shown me anything for me to believe that this guy Joey's going to want to give a discount to the Niners. These guys is about money, okay? And rightfully so. People are going to get into reality that he's not going to want minimum. Now, if him and Bosa are talking, him and Nick are talking, and the mom wants them to play together for 1 year, and it's not a money issue, and maybe they'll make an exception only because, not because it's the Niners, but it's because where the brothers are in a team together, they can play for 1 year, and then they can also compete for a Super Bowl together. Imagine them winning a Super Bowl together. So all those can factor in. But if they bring Joey, I believe they'll bring him at the minimum, at the player's minimum, and they will still focus on paying Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is a bonus for me. Joey Bosa is more like the pepper on top of the food. You know what I mean? Or the whipped cream on top of the pie. But I think Khalil is something they're looking at if they let him go.
Well, before you go, Pete, I just want to add too, like, and then another thing too is you don't want to pay all this money to Joey as well because he's been injury prone past couple
Absolutely
seasons.
not. Yep, you're right.
So
not worth it.
That's another thing to keep it like to think about as well. But go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, so like I want to give credit to the right person, but I believe it was Jesse that was Jesse nailed it. That was that posted something to Twitter talking about the 3 guys that the 49ers signed actually cost just as it cost together cost how much
It was Jesse
it
to confirm.
was Jesse cost how much Daniil Hunter cost, like so in the 2 years. So it's, you have to think of it as the 49ers, we've had the best roster for the last 2 maybe 3 years. And how about we just bring in some depth? How about our main guys are signed? Like it's all about bringing the depth around them. So we as fans, of course, every single season, people get excited, say, "Oh, we've got to get this guy. We've got to get that guy." That's good. What's going to take us over the top? That is not what's going to take us over the top. Getting another guy, like that's not what's going to take us over the top. That's not what took the Chiefs to get them over the top and get them to a Super Bowl. That's not what got the Rams. Let's say the Rams, when they got their Super Bowl, that's not what took them over the top. Like what took them over the top was they got good play when it counted and when it mattered the most. So what you need to do is you got to have your role players. You have your guys that play their positions. You've got your leaders on the squad. But I think that people kind of lose sight of that part sometimes, and they think that just the more great players you bring in, that's just going to guarantee you a spot. And no, sometimes it's we have to look at the situation exactly for what it is and know that we have great players on this team already. We just need some guys to come in and play their part, play their position, and get in. And I think that's why they're giving them 2-year deals also, to keep that continuity, so that it's not just a 1 year and then they're gone. We got to do this all over again next year. It's, you're bringing in guys that so that you can keep that culture going and keep that camaraderie going, because eventually these guys are getting older. I think the 49ers have one of the oldest teams in the league now. And it's crazy how quickly that shifted. But we went from one of the younger teams in 2019 to one of the older teams in the league now, and in 2024. And so you've got to keep that in mind as well. So I think that they are going to, there's still a lot of guys out there. There's still some familiar faces out there that they can still sign. You still got DJ Jones sitting out there. I think that there's a couple of guys out there that they could bring back, like Sebastian Joseph Day, that might look a little bit different because we're not using the same scheme. And they're going to go back to the old scheme that they were running before, which I think is going to really help the D-line. So when people are getting all up in arms about the run game, it wasn't necessarily all the players. I think it had a lot to do with the scheme.
All right. So we saw that we lost Javon Kinlaw. He is now going to the Commanders, if I'm not mistaken?
No, he went to the Jets.
Or the Jets, I mean. Okay.
Hopefully that knee holds up on that turf.
I know, seriously. So with Kinlaw gone, with Armstead going to be gone as well, who do you guys see fill in those two positions right there in the inside of the D line?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they've got, I believe they're going to probably have T.Y. McGill. They're going to have the guy that they just brought in, Jordan Elliott. You've got Hargrave. Also, they're going to have Kalia Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Givens is a free agent, but I'm almost positive they're going to bring him back. And then there's a couple of guys out there that I think could, like I was just talking about, Sebastian Joseph Day. I think he's a candidate to be brought back. Derek Nottie from KC, I think, is a candidate. As well as who's my other guy? Tim Settle. He played for Buffalo last year, but he used to play for the Commanders. And I wanted him 2 seasons ago. But I think that this may be an opportunity for him to come onto the roster as well. So those are some guys that I'm looking for. I'm hoping, and Sheldon Rankins is another guy. He's out there as well. It says that he commands like about $10 million a year, but I'd almost be okay with that.
Okay. Beto, thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kalia Davis is going to take a big jump. In the
Can he
league.
stay healthy?
Yeah, that's the key. So we're going to see with him, but I think he's going to take the big jump in there. They did bring in this guy Elliott. They do have Hargrave. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring Givens back. I know he's a free agent, but I'm pretty sure they'll sign him. So they'll have that depth there going forward. And I really believe their plans are to draft a D tackle or a pass rusher, and the draft based who's there and who's the better player of that position, whether it's D tackle or it's defensive end. At that, I don't think they're going offense. I know Niners want tackle. It's not their MO. They're going to go defensive, and right now we have holes to fill defensively. So please, guys, don't be surprised if a pass rusher or a D tackle goes first, or they even move up for that. Don't be upset because you guys should already know, John and Kyle, whether you guys agree with it or not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. As much as we need the help on the offensive line, they're going to go defense first. I already know.
And honestly, I just don't think Kyle thinks that. I don't think he prioritizes the offensive line like that.
No, he likes to run in on scheme. Only he don't like to put the big. It's all about scheme with Kyle when it comes to the offense. Other than Trent Williams, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Pete. Other than Trent Williams, who's really a big name? Aaron Banks is okay, but they don't put the money in the offensive line. And you think, okay, I just said earlier, we're gonna sign most likely Brock Purdy to $15 million. You would think you want to protect your investment at that price, but it's all about scheme with Kyle when it comes that way, and they put all their eggs in one basket on defensive side.
Well, let me get your take real quick, Beto, because I believe it happened last week when we were on the show, Pete, when they re-signed McKivitz. What was your thoughts on that when you saw the news that they re-signed McKivitz?
McKivitz is not. They didn't give him starter money. People need to relax. $7 million for 2 years, or for an year extension. Excuse me. He's going to be with us for 2 years. He still had a year with us. So he's extended to 2025. $7 million, it's not starter money. Now, will he start? Most likely. Maybe they will draft a tackle, but maybe I'm not saying they won't draft a tackle in the second or in the third, but they most likely won't do it in the first. But let's say they do, for sake of argument. They still need to kind of make sure that tackle, if he doesn't learn right away, doesn't get into the offense right away, he needs a few games to kind of get better. They have McKivitz, and people will say, wow, they had him for a year anyway. What's the point of signing him for another year? For $7 million, you're locking him for 2 years. And you can, and he's, what people don't realize, he's not great at one position, but he's able to move around the line. He's able to move to center. He's able to move to guard. So you can utilize those. If they do get those position players they want at offense, you have a rotational guy with only suiting up, 53 players per game or whatever it is. You need that hybrid offensive lineman that you can plug and play in any spot. And that's what McKivitz gives you. So it's not starter money. He's not the future. They just want to make sure they have someone they can depend on.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Same here. I agree. TL has a question for us. Would you rather draft 2 rookies, O-linemen, or draft 1 and pick up a free agent like Connor Williams? Pete, go first, and then we'll go Beto.
It's a good question, but honestly, because of the McKivitz re-signing, I would go ahead and just draft two rookies. That would be my personal opinion. And honestly, I would get guys that are a little bit versatile, just like Kyle likes. I'm looking at a couple of guys. Graham Barton is a guy I've been talking about for a few weeks now, and because he plays tackle in college, but he's going to be a guard. But he's going to have that flexibility of being used to playing tackle, and then you've got Jordan. You've also got what's his name, Jordan Morgan, out there.
Yeah.
That same thing. Like a lot of people are expecting him to be a tackle, but he would have the shortest arms of any tackle in the NFL. So I'm thinking he's going to end up being a guard as well. But he's a guy they've been looking at. The other guys that are in that top area, top of the second round, like 31, next to 31, they're all developmental guys. There's a guy out of Yale that's a development guy, and I'm not going to butcher his name. It's so hard to pronounce. And then you've got Patrick Paul, who's actually met with the 49ers a couple of times already, that he's another project. So I wouldn't mind them picking up a guy like I want to. Christian Haynes is another guy that I'm looking at because I feel like he can play guard and center. And I think that that's a guy you could eventually transition to take over for Brendel eventually down the road. So like there's a bunch of guys in that area. It's not just the top heavy guys. I think that there's a lot of solid guys in this draft at the offensive line spot. So I would go two. Go ahead and get two. Offensive line is a premium in this league. There's not many good offensive linemen. So
yeah, I agree. I agree as well. They're going to go. I mean, obviously they can go in any direction they want, but I also want to just say that with the McKivitt signing, I think they're going to look at in the draft to get these guys there. Now, Burford, he's not the greatest, but he's more of the developing him more into a better guard. And then the kid that was hurt, I kept thinking the one that was hurt, Sakel.
Nick Sakel.
Yeah, I like him.
Don't do that, Beto.
He's old. I mean, as a rotational, not as a starter. Okay, he's not the best, but
he was the worst in training camp and in preseason.
But the first year, though.
No, this is the second year.
Oh, is it second year?
Yeah. He got brought into the same draft as Burford. Yeah, no, he's bad.
Okay, then I stand corrected with that. I thought it was his first year last year. I didn't realize. Yeah, he's so low in the depth.
I'm here for you, man. I'm here.
I appreciate it. That's why there's three of us to help each other out. No problem. Yeah, I mean, I like to find someone we can find for the right amount in free agency, but we shall see. We shall see. And also, too, it depends who's available in the draft, too, and where they're going to be drafted at. That is going to show. But the Niners do need to get depth in the offensive line. They need to get some better bodies because it's like you can have the best defense, you can have the best running game, but if you can't protect your quarterback, this kid Brock is a great quarterback. He's going to be an awesome quarterback going forward. I don't care who your quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers when he was in his 20s, Tom Brady. I don't care who they are. If you can't protect and give enough time to your quarterback, they're not going to get the ball to their playmakers. You got to protect them. So the Niners need to get their head out of their ass when it comes to the offensive line and make sure that we cannot go into 2024 the way we were with that right side. Yeah. Those pass rushers were just eating up McKivitt and Burford for lunch. I mean, and these guys were not all the top pass rushers. These are just like these rotational guys for these teams, and they were looking like all pros against this right side. We can't have that. You got to protect. Now, Chris Jones not a rotational guy. This guy's a monster. But I mean, if Brock Purdy would have had a little bit more time, half a second, 2 seconds more, he would have got a touchdown to Jawan Jennings. But they let him go through. Why? Because these two dum-dums couldn't agree who was covering who. Mm-hmm. You can't have that mental error in a Super Bowl. So they got to address this offensive line, and they got to beef it up. I'm tired of this scheme. I mean, scheme is nice, but I want some. Remember when Mike Singletary was here? I don't know if it was when they drafted those two big guys.
It was Harbaugh. In the first,
Harbaugh.
Was his first draw. That was his first.
No,
draft.
It wasn't Harbaugh.
That was his first draft. That was his
when they drafted Anthony and okay. I don't remember, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah, I remember
on
they
that.
were rookies that year.
I don't think it was hardball, but look into it. But I think it was Mike Singletary. But
Let's look at it.
the point is, they got two big dogs, and although our tackle just fizzled up mentally, he was big body, big bones, was a wuss mentally. But the idea was to get the big dogs in there, and we need that. We need that stability in the offense, not just defensively.
Here's my
it was
question for
Singletary.
you guys.
It wasn't
It
Mike
was
Singletary,
Singletary. It
right?
was 2010.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Singletary.
told you.
So
That's
here's
why
my
I'm here
question
for you, bro. I got you.
Hey, like I keep you from bringing in terrible offensive linemen, and like you keep my
And I
dates straight.
correct you with the right coaches.
Yeah, you
Got
keep my
Okay,
dates.
so
you
we've
keep my
seen-
dates straight.
we've seen a couple of offensive linemen get released, and there's been a couple that have been signed by certain teams. Do we see the Niners sign at least one in this free agency, or do you guys think they're going to draft somebody? I know it won't be
Offensive line?
first round,
What?
but do you think
What position again?
an offensive lineman?
Oh, offensive lineman. Okay. Go ahead, Pete.
I personally hope they don't re-sign Feliciano.
I think
Really?
they are.
I just don't want him. I just
Why?
don't want him. I didn't like the whole look of I manage people for a living, and I know you can't compare the two.
Okay.
But I don't like the fact that he went on social media and aired out Burford. I just don't like it.
No,
I don't care. I don't care if Burford's not here next year. Like it's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Do you
and,
know the
like,
whole story of that though?
I honestly I don't care. Like I don't care. It's the look, because like you got to think about this, Ben. Your locker rooms are hanging by a thread.
Correct.
Your culture is constantly, it's a constant balance. You cannot have something like that happening in front of everybody. Like and I just didn't like it. I'm not a fan.
And I'm with you. He shouldn't have done
So tell
that,
me
but-
the story. What's the story?
Well, what I heard was he did say it. He did make the mistake. I'm not correcting that. That was on him. But social media was blaming McKivitz on that mistake. And I've done this error before.
Okay.
His mistake, Feliciano's mistake, was not thinking before he spoke. He was trying to defend McKivitz. He wasn't thinking out like a dumbass. He's like, it wasn't McKivitz, it was the other guy. But in a way, he kind of inadvertently put him under the bus. It's still wrong. I understand, but it wasn't like he was directly trying to get at him. He was trying to defend McKivitz by putting the other guy under the bus in a time of wrong judgment. And I think he felt that he did that wrong. Now, using that "I was drunk" excuse, I don't know about that.
In my opinion, it just made it worse. Like, because
he didn't say that. It makes it worse.
Like, because he could have said the same thing that you just said.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
No,
but he didn't. Like,
with all true respect, I want him to protect the quarterback. What he said, I think what's his name? Burford already forgave him. I think the fans are the ones that are carrying this even further than what it is. They will coexist. I just think for the price that they'll bring him back at, he's pretty decent at guard. And sometimes they got to be men. You know, put your boys, take off your boy pants and put your man pants on and let it get by you. It wasn't intentional. It happened. Now, if he would have attacked him intentionally, like literally intentionally, then you're right. Maybe that's something you can't get back from. But he kind of was defending one and like a dumbass screw the other. I don't know.
I get it. I get it. However, that's the way it goes. Like I said, your culture is constantly there's always a balance. The next one wrong comment could throw the whole thing off. And we've seen it happen in the past in the NFL. Like one guy makes a comment, all of a sudden the whole locker room just spirals out of control. So I don't know. I don't think you chance it with a guy that's only been here for 1 year. Like you just
Yeah.
I think that you just don't even have to answer for it. You just don't bring him back. And that's, I mean, if they brought him back, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever, we'll see what happens. But also, I mean, you got to think of it from Burford's perspective as well. Is he took Burford's job, and granted, Burford should have been a better guard, like to get his job taken, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm not.
We just can't be wearing our feelings on our sleeves, bro. We need to be.
Hey, if it was me, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's not me, and we don't know how Burford took. We don't know how other people.
Well, if
in
he's
that
a
locker
pussy,
room
he needs to go.
But we don't know how the other people in the locker room took it.
That is,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all talked to him and said, "Hey, bro, what's your issue here?"
Yeah.
And I believe if he gave a reasonable issue and they tend to believe him, they'll let it go. If they saw the malice in it, they're like, nope. Yeah. Hey, should they let go of Nick Bosa for hugging Donald Trump? I'm not going to make it political.
No, Bosa is doing a lot more than Feliciano is.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Beto said cheers.
Bosa could do a lot worse and still be there.
Oh yeah. See, that's favoritism, bro. That's wrong.
Oh well, I mean, that's the NFL.
It's wrong. You're not lying.
So, would do you think if Brady had said some crazy stuff on the Patriots, they would have got rid of Brady? No, they would not have.
No, he could have hit Kraft's wife in the face, and he still would have been there.
Yeah,
he would have Kraft would have got divorced from his wife before they let go of Brady.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's always a popularity game. But when you're on the fringe and you're just a backup guard saying that stuff, it's a little bit different.
Isn't that like that in life though? If you hold value to somebody, they'll give you more rope. But if you have no value to them, the minute you screw up, you're gone.
Yeah, that's life.
Yep,
that's life. It's a tough world out there.
Yep.
So it's gonna be kind of a dumb topic to bring up, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways. So today we saw Deebo Samuel change his number from 19 to 1.
Oh, I love it.
After he lied to the old girl.
Yeah.
Kay Adams.
And on top of that, he put Samuel Sr. on his jersey.
Well, you know, he has a boy now.
Yeah, I know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Why do you think
I own jerseys with 19 on it.
Yeah. Why do you think he decided to change his number for this coming up year?
That was his college number. He played his best football, and with that number, it wasn't available last year. A lot of people are like, "Why did he take it last?" It wasn't available. Nobody had it, but it wasn't available. Not only that, well, let me rephrase it. Not that it wasn't available. Deebo is going to have to pay a lot of money to make that change. People don't know this. Yeah. People that have jerseys with 19, these NFL companies, they're losing a lot of money with a bunch of 19 jerseys on their rack. Okay,
that's true.
It's not like I'm just trading my number and screw the all these NFL license places, right? So Deebo's going to have to pay quite an amount of money to make that happen, to keep these guys happy. And a lot of times players don't rather not do that because of that. It's going to cost them the millions. So, but if you love a number that much, and maybe he was undecisive, who knows when he spoke to Kay. Now I'm crushed because I think Kay Adams is a sweetheart. So the fact that he lied to her, man, I'm crushed about that, Deebo. You don't lie to a beautiful girl like that, but I do understand why he may change his mind and decide to pay for it or something. But I do think he'll look better. I like the one on him though than 19.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is the way I'm choosing to think of it, is that he's rededicating himself. He wants wants to reignite the hunger that he had in college. And
I can see that.
And and this is going to be Deebo's best year incoming. We're going to speak it into existence.
Well, he's not dumb. He's trying to not only make the team good this year, but he knows financially he might not be here, so he wants an addition for another team.
That's true.
So, yeah, so that brings me to fans saying on X that Debo, this might be his last ride with the Niners and stuff like that. Have you guys been seeing that today on Twitter at all?
They've been saying that for months now.
Yeah,
I know, but I've been seeing it a lot more since he's came out with changing his jersey number.
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of that. Like just because everybody's been talking about him getting
it's called
traded.
It's called the off season, bro.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm like, I don't think this is gonna be his last season though.
It could be. It can't be. It depends. They're not going to pay 2 receivers $25 million apiece.
Yeah, I would be shocked. I shouldn't say that. I'd be surprised if he's still here.
Yeah, I'll be more shocked that he's here than if he's traded or gone.
Unless he has just a ridiculous season.
Yeah, and it's not because he's good or not good. It's just the financials. People got to remember the financials. They're there for a reason, and they're not going to pay Brandon Ayuk and then him.
Even if he has a ridiculous season, I still think that
they're going to trade him. They just raises.
He just raises trade value.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's the way that you look at it as a business. And the Niners are all for that. Hey, have your best year. That just gives us a better trade value for you, and they're going to send him where he wants to go to. They're not going to do him wrong. But Debo knows, bro. Debo knows.
Except for Kansas City.
It's a money situation.
They're not sending him to Kansas City.
So does this kind of explain why they were looking at receivers during the combine as well?
Oh yeah, they looked at a whole bunch. They talked to a.
Don't be surprised if they draft one in the 3rd round.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a bunch of receivers in this.
This was a good draft class for receivers
all the way throughout. Let's
get Luke McCaffrey, bro.
I'm mocking guys in the 6th round. He's my 6th round pick right now.
Out of all the brothers, sons, and mothers out there that are coming in from the players before, Luke McCaffrey to me is the best. He's better than Braden Rice. He's better than, in my opinion, than Frank Gore Jr. Smaller than Frank. To me, Luke McCaffrey is a legitimate receiver, and you can put him in the slot.
I know that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it as long as they get him like later on.
No, they're not going to get him no top 3.
Yeah, no. I mean,
he'll be a 5th.
I'm talking like 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
like I could see.
I think he'll be available by then.
But they've got the guy that I have a draft.
Just don't take a running back in 3rd. That's all.
Okay, it's funny that you said that because I have a guy in that I think is going to go in the 3rd round.
Don't say running back, bro.
Yes, it is a running back, and I just want to see him in the Shanahan offense because he has no wiggle to him at all. Pause. Like he has nothing, but he just sticks a foot in the ground and runs a 4.3. And
then take him in the 2nd round. Take him in the 2nd because he'll fit
out of Louisville
in the 3rd.
Out of Louisville, I don't know. Like, and I was laughing the whole time I'm doing my mocks, like because I just felt like I had to have him. And I know that.
Why
Kyle
the 3rd though?
Too. Huh?
Why the 3rd?
Well, that's the area he was in. He was in that 3rd, that mid to late 3rd realm, but he was always being taken in that like right before he got to the end of the 3rd. Like, so I had to take him. I had to take him with our first 3rd round pick.
What's the name of the player?
Oh, we only have 1 3rd round pick now. They're all 4ths.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So maybe they'll take him maybe he'll last in the 4th and then just grab him. Then we're both happy.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I'm down. Like, I mean, but I don't know if they're gonna wait because, he's mocking to go in the 3rd. So.
No, they can't. McNiner bring whenever you get a chance. Right. I know you have a question from Taryn.
But the other reason why I don't think that they'll bring him in is because nobody gets carries except for CMC.
Yep,
that's it. They've already got two good running backs that can't get any carries.
Yep.
It's true.
So I mean, it'd kind of be a waste of a pick. But I just, man, I'm gonna be pissed off if the Rams or somebody get him, that or the Seahawks, and we end up having to play him all the time.
I can see the
Like,
Cardinals getting them
yeah, I could see that too. I could see that too.
because they need a running back.
All right, let's answer TL's question real quick. All right, here we go. Would you all be comfortable bringing in Ryan Tannehill as QB2? I wouldn't trust Brandon Allen or a rookie.
Didn't he resign?
Brandon Allen did resign.
Brandon Allen.
No, Tannehill.
Ooh, I don't know.
No, I didn't see anything.
No,
I didn't see anything about Tannehill.
Okay, then I'm probably tripping.
The what's it called?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm with you. Brandon Allen is not a number 2 and a rookie that you're going to take most likely in the 6th or 7th round. I mean, come on, guys.
They really like Brandon
Brock
Allen.
Purdy. We did it with Brock Purdy, but we're not doing it again.
Shanny really likes Brandon Allen. I don't know if you remember how it was last year in the, but they were talking about that Brandon Allen was making better throws than Sam Darnold.
Really?
Yeah, they really like Brandon Allen.
Well, that would be ideal if Brandon Allen can be the number 2 and then they get a rookie to be the number 3rd. That would be the best way to go. If that's the case.
And he's the right. I shouldn't say that. He's Shanny's type of guy. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I knew where you were going, bro. No,
he's Shanny's type of guy.
Okay,
crazy,
so
dude. I was like, I'm done for the show. Have a good night, everyone.
No mom is.
All right.
No mom is.
No mom. Okay, so I have another question from Instagram, my Instagram live. But for some reason it won't pop up on the chat. But somebody said David Bakhtari as a O-line help.
He can't stay healthy.
Yeah. He's no, bro.
I immediately looked at him when
he doesn't play right very well.
Yeah.
He plays left more. So what are you gonna do? Put him over Trent? I don't think so.
No.
Stop chasing the names.
But
everybody and Taron Armstead, same thing.
Yeah, people chase names like it's nobody's business.
I
Big
agree.
names.
How do you spell his name? It's B. Is it BH?
It's BAH. KATARI.
The draft's going to be fun though.
Yeah. Are we going live for the draft?
Oh yeah. I'm doing the me and Jess did it last year, so we went live for all 3 days through the whole draft, and then we had guests in. So we're gonna run that. If you guys want to pop in or do something or jump in for a little bit and then jump out, you guys are welcome. I'll send you guys the links.
You were wrong,
for sure.
sir. Just so you know, it's BAKH.
Whatever.
Brendan can't spell, bro. Come on.
All right. So TL says he likes Michael Pratt from Tulane in round 4. Your guys' thoughts on that?
I got no clue who he is, so I'm not even gonna.
I don't know who he is.
I'm not even gonna pretend to know.
I heard somebody out of Tulane.
I've heard of him, but I don't know enough for me to give my
somebody
opinion
out of Tulane. Yeah, just so we know, just so we're clear, Bakhtiari's played 13 games in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. That should just tell you right there.
I'd rather bring Joey.
Yeah,
that's like another reason too why like yes, it has to do with money as well, but that's another reason kind of why the Niners are moving on from Arik Armstead as well, because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah. That's the way. Well, that's the reason why they went and asked him to take a pay cut. They didn't want to get rid of him. They wanted him to take a pay cut because of his ability not to stay healthy. The best ability is availability. He didn't provide that. And hey, all credit to Eric. He's done restructure so many times. This time he's like, no. So
I remember this guy now, TL. It's not that I don't like him. I think
what position is he play?
He's a quarterback.
Quarterback.
And he is a day 3 guy, but I don't think he's going to be there. I I don't know why. I just don't think he's going to be there. I'm looking at the guy from BYU right now.
All I know is whoever scouted Brock Purdy, he needs to make that pick.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, wasn't that
No, it wasn't Adam Peters. Real quick, just to I don't know if that's where you were heading or not, but people want to give Adam Peters a lot of credit.
A throwback.
I think it's bogus. I think John Lynch has more. The Niners will have a better draft than Peters. Watch this. And this Peters, not Peters overrated.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that goes.
I think Peters has done pretty good job so far.
We'll judge him by the rounds, not by
Flex said it was Brian Greasy.
What happened?
Flex said
yeah,
that it was Brian.
Yeah, it was Brian Greasy that wanted him in.
Then hey,
Like,
Brian
for
Greasy
sure.
knock on the table again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, Bobby Slowick. Yes, you're Taryn. You're right. Both of you guys are right. Flex and Taryn. It was Brian Greasy and Bobby Slowick. I hated losing him to the Texans, but hey, the Texans I know we're not a Texans show, but they're quietly, scarily building a team over there.
Dude.
I live in Houston.
You got Hunter, right?
Yeah, I live in Houston, and I was telling people all that whole summer long. I said, D'Amico's going to get you guys right. And the vibe here was so positive going into the season. It hadn't been positive in years. And the vibe was everybody was just so happy to have D'Amico here. And then when they just took off like they did, I was just really happy for D'Amico.
They brought in Aziz, bro. Where he's going to be
dude, they got Aziz.
That defense is going to take a leap.
Danielle Hunter to go next to Will Anderson.
Yeah,
watch out.
Yeah, it's like they're bringing back the 2019
Niners.
That's why I was just going to say.
I love D'Amico, man. I wish he does well.
Niners South.
I'll take it. Part of me is rooting.
Niners.
Hey, part of me is rooting for the Texans. I'm not going to lie. That's
dog, you don't have to tell me. My wife is a Texans fan, so
oh wow, cool.
Well, I mean, she grew up here, so
okay.
No, but cool that at least you have that. If things don't go right, I was supporting my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, which is cool. I can't have that excuse if they don't do right. I'm like,
Joe Mixon.
Oh, who got him?
Texans.
Oh yeah, the Texans.
Ooh, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up. Why did was it a budget? Was it a financial thing? Or because he's still hurt? This guy was 1,000 rush for 4 seasons. What
they got? Who did they get? They
didn't get somebody better than Mixon.
No, they didn't. They let him go and they brought in Zach Moss because they don't use running backs like that. They're going to
use them.
They're more of a the way Rams use their running backs. They pass the ball to run the ball instead of the other way around. And he wasn't getting carries like that.
If a team's going to play good in Texas, bro, as long as it ain't the Cowboys, we're good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Cowboys, they haven't made
Cowboys
one move.
I think they got a long snapper. They got a long snapper, and then they let everybody go.
Dak Prescott, $60 million and gets the cat this year.
But they're going to get guys. They're in the same position that the 49ers are, really.
No, they're not.
Well, just
we're paying $1 million to our quarterback.
Hold on. So the reason why I say that, it's not that the Cowboys aren't talented. They've got a ton of talent on their team. They just can't put it together. They have a terrible coaching staff. I'll just be real about it. I have no faith in their head coach. Their offensive, their OC. Well, I guess it was the head coach. Didn't do any better than the OC before.
No,
I don't have a lot of faith in Dak. I just don't think that they have a good culture there.
Yep.
I think that says a lot about, because they have a ton of talent. They always have a ton of talent on that. It's
tied to McCarthy, bro. It is McCarthy that's the problem there. And I'm glad.
I think the real problem is Jerry Jones, because he won't bring in a better. He doesn't care about the culture. He just brings in who he wants to bring in, and thinks that as long as he keeps throwing talent,
he's not going to admit this, Pete. But to him, it's more about making money than it is winning the Super Bowl at his age.
Yeah,
of course he wants to win one, but it's all about making money. What other owner do you hear talking after a game other than Jerry Jones? Not one.
Yeah, seriously.
This guy needs to mind his own business. Learn from Jetty York. He opens up his wallet and he keeps his mouth shut. That's what owners should do.
Well, sometimes.
He
He
talked a
talked
little bit.
He talked a little bit this offseason, and we wanted him to go back into his hole. Like, get out of here, man.
Every dog has an itch once in a while, bro.
All right, we're about at the 51-minute mark. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we end the show?
You want to go?
I'm just curious to see what they're going to do.
Freestyle.
If I'm wondering if they're going to bring a corner in free agency. They need to bring a corner, whether it's a slot corner, and move Lenore outside, or bring someone on the outside and keep Lenore in the inside. But we definitely need someone to come in, because I like Emory Thomas. He's okay as a rotational, but he's not a guy that I want to go knowing he is one of our starters. I need to make sure that I will love for them to bring a corner in to kind of work with, and then I would love them to draft one in the draft for sure.
I think, like, my big thing is, because I'm getting ready for the draft now. Like, even though free agency just started, it's only been 2 days. All of these moves are really kind of positioning the 49ers for the draft.
Absolutely.
And that's really where I feel like my focus is right now for the 49ers, just because this is the next couple of years are really, we're going to be in a transitionary period. Like, I mean, any fan that doesn't think so is not paying attention. Like, because we've got some guys that are starting to get up there in age now. As I said earlier, we are one of the oldest teams in the league. They're going to have to transition, and now it's going to be how they do in the first round, because historically speaking, this regime has not done well in the first round if we're just going scoreboard.
Yep.
Like, so how do they get a hit in the first round? Do they get a hit in the second round? Like, that's really
not
what I'm
this
going to be.
Kind of hit.
Huh?
I go, not this kind of hit, but
no,
the other kind.
We're keeping it PG. And the but yeah, it's so that's what I'm looking for, is that it's going to be the most fascinating part of this offseason for the 49ers, is how they set themselves up for the transition, because that's what it's going to be all about. Do those second year guys, Latu, Willis, all the got Luter, all these guys that they said looked really good in training camp, and then we didn't see him again for the rest of the season. Like, are any of those guys going to step up and be actual role players, or the next Fred Warners, or the next George Kittles? Like, are there any of those guys going to step up into
D
those
Winter?
roles?
Watch D Winter. He's going to surprise you this year.
I've been a D Winter guy since
TCU.
I wanted that. He was in my mock draft before. I was mocking him to the 49ers last draft. And I was so stoked that they picked him, because I felt like he's exactly
another,
what the 49ers.
He's another Greenlaw. He's similar to Greenlaw. He plays the position of Greenlaw. He's the same, and then Jalen Graham.
They really like Jalen Graham. They talk about him more than they talk about D Winter.
Yeah, they do. Now he's more of a Fred Warner type of linebacker.
Yeah,
but I like D Winters. I hope they both work out, because splashes, bro. They can talk a lot about a player and they fizzle out.
I'm really focusing on this tight end spot, though. Like, just because Kittle is getting up there. They drafted the 2 last year. Will either one of them be a role, have a role this season, or do they draft another guy? They've been talking to multiple tight ends in this draft process. So, I mean, and there's some good ones out there. There's another guy from Iowa, Eric All, that they've talked to. Theo, there's another guy from Penn State that they've talked to. That I really like. Theo, I can't remember his last name but But yeah, I
They
just
beat the
think this draft is going
Wolverines.
to be crazy.
You see that comment from TL?
Huh?
Bring it back. He says D. Winter
Yeah.
handily beat.
Maybe that's why. Like I was so intrigued by the fact that he was going to be in the
Oh, he
draft.
actually said
Really
our Wolverine, so he's a Wolverine fan too. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. TL.
I didn't know that, TL.
Yeah, we're
Florida
connected.
State.
We're connected that
Florida
way.
State, baby.
So,
All right,
yeah.
Throwback has a question for you guys. What are your thoughts on the Niners asking Juice to take a pay cut?
Oh yeah, no, he's not doing it.
And then he needs to go bye-bye.
I mean, okay, they're not going to do it. They're
Don't
not
let
going
him
to do
go.
it.
No, if
they
he
won't.
doesn't, they did it to Armstead.
Yeah, but Armstead was hurt all the time. They're not going to do that. He's too big of a piece of that offense. They don't have anybody.
Too much of an asset. He's too much of an asset.
They don't have anybody to play that role.
Nope.
I think that Kramer Latu can do that role.
No,
not as good as Juice.
Stop it.
They would. Why would you tell me? Answer this. Why would they go to him, ask him to take a pay cut, and he says no, and they're like, okay, at least we asked.
Well, they asked.
They're asking politely, but what they're saying is, we want you to take a pay cut. It's what they're saying. They're asking, but they're saying we want you to. So in other words, we're not giving you a choice. And if he says no,
the reason why they're asking him is because they save minimal if they cut it.
Yeah.
There's not much that they save by cutting him. They can save money by him taking a pay cut.
Plus he could do it now too, because his wife is she's making bank now.
Yeah, like they didn't save a lot of money from the Eric
Armstead clothing.
Yeah, yep. like the money that they saved from Eric Armstead, like against the cap, wasn't a ton, in my opinion.
It was as 18 mil.
They saved 18 mil in cash.
No, let me clarify something with Eric Armstead. People don't know the 28 million that is dead money has to get paid.
Yeah,
people think, oh, wait a minute. So if the Niners cut him post June 1st, they're gonna pay 10 million against the dead money and save 18, and that's it. No, guess the other 15 million plus gets paid in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just go away because they're post. The difference between post and pre, they save 2-point-something million, but they got to pay the full dead cap and one shot and get rid of them. They're done with them. What they're deciding to do is they're trying to kind of split that dead money into 2 years.
Yeah. And
for people that are mad that money cannot be used for like drafting or bringing in someone like Danielle Hunter, I don't think they would have used it for that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole thing is the future. Yeah. The Fred Warners are going to get upgrade. Hufanga, if he comes back and has a good year, eventually he's going to want to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's going to get paid. They gotta.
Brock Purdy going to get broke off.
Yeah. He's going to go for $1 from a penny to a shiny penny, and he deserves it.
Not even a shiny penny. He's going to be a silver dollar.
Can you imagine?
They would
from
pay
the seventh round. You're the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially if he takes us to another Super Bowl. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be what? 55 million. Well, do you want to let him go?
Well, the what's it called? The cap's going to go up again next year.
Yeah. Imagine what his guarantee money is going to be. Ooh.
Oh, it's going to be wild.
And he just got married. He's telling his wife,
"Yeah,
babe,
he's like,
I'll buy you your house next year. Don't worry. We'll rent for 1 year, and you can pick the house you want next year because I can pay for it cash."
So now you can pull the spree. Well, I got to do it for my family. I
need
it for
absolutely.
Exactly. All right. Is there anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we end it?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, good.
All right. We're just hit about an hour. Just catching faithful up with free agency so far. We'll be back again next Tuesday, same time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Once again, this is the Boys Podcast. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button on all channels for Faithful Podcast, Niner Fanatic Podcast, and Niner Sickness Podcast. Hit that follow button on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And Pete, you want to let them know where they could also find you with your audio?
Oh yeah. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I am, if you don't like looking at my face, I am anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. So there's no excuse. I don't care where you get it, just get it. And yeah, just make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day,
I
every
love
week.
that saying, bro.
All right, and then is there anything else going on the rest of the week for you on your channel?
Oh yeah, I got another show on Thursday. I believe it's gonna be it's gonna be Thursday. Early. It's gonna be early Thursday because I'm going out of town.
All right, and then Beto, what about you, man?
Fridays, every Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific. Me and Jess from East Coast Red and Gold get together on the Niners Now podcast, and we talk Niner football. So if you're not busy and chilling on a Friday night, come and join us at 6 p.m. Pacific. We'd love to have you there. And don't forget, every Tuesday here at 6:30.
Dub boys.
The boy.
The boys. And to answer throwback your question, man,
Ándale,
I'm not
Terrence.
sure when the FF Pod crew is coming back. They're still in their feelings about the Super Bowl, so
Hey, real quick,
hopefully soon.
real quick,
Hopefully
before
soon.
we call
Maybe by the draft, you'll see the original crew back on. But until then, you'll be seeing us three on this channel. So
real quick, I'm taking a little offense to TL because he's like, Pete, you're handsome. What about us?
yeah, what about us,
what
TL?
are me
What
and
the
Brandon?
hell?
What are we? Chicken liver?
We're chop liver over here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Tell
We
a
still love
friend
you,
to be a
TL.
friend and sub a friend. What Steve-O said.
Yeah.
Before we kill your friends. Orale.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, guys, like for me too, I'm also on audio as well. If you guys are on your way to work or coming home from work, you can listen to the audio portion. I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, the whole 9 yards. So just,
Everywhere.
look up Forever Faithful Podcast, and I'll be there. And make sure you guys once again hit that sub and that like button on all channels.
Absolutely.
My channel, I'm trying to get to 1,000. We're at 682 right now, so we're getting there. So please hit that sub button. We'll give you all your 49 news as the offseason continues and leading up to the draft. But until next time, guys, we'll see you next Tuesday. And go Niners!
Go Niners!
Go Niners.
Hey.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, bang.
Absolutely.